Recording in progress.
All right. Is everybody logged into picocapturetheflag.org? You can just raise your hand if you're ready to go. Or if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself. We got two more folks. Daniel and Brooklyn, you guys ready to go? Okay. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to start off. I just want to show you navigation in here, just in case you were not with us last week. So Pico Capture the Flag is it's like a practice gym for Capture the Flag activities. So to find the activities that we're going to do, you can just type in the name here. And then, or the category of where it's at, and then we can make sure that we're all doing the same exercise. So the first one we're going to do is called Too Warm. All right, and Too Warm wants us to convert the number 42, which is in base 10, to binary, which is in base 2. Okay, so in order to be able to do this, we're just going to go ahead and kick up a new screen, and we're going to say binary base 10 to base 2. Converter. And it says we can go ahead and put our base 10 number in here. So it's 42, which is in base 10. And that gives us this number in binary. So it's 10, 10, 10. So you want to make sure that you put this in here within the flag. So 10, 10, 10. And then you can submit and see if it's correct. And this is basically how capture flags are set up. They're set up as a sequence of exercises to test you in various areas of cybersecurity. So that was just like a general skills one. So the next one we're going to do is called warmed up. And this one wants us to convert base 16 into decimal. And if you wanted to, you can get a hint. It says submit the answer in your flag. So we can actually just take this, and I think we can just put this into Google. Let me just go find a converter. Base 16 and hex to decimal converter. That'll work for us. So in this case, we are doing 0x3d, and we want to know what that is in decimal. So we can say 0x3d and say convert, and it tells us that that is 61 in decimal. So again, we're going to want to put that into our flag. And submit it. All right. Is there any questions so far? No. All right. So next up, we're going to do let's warm up. This is also a general skills one. It says if I told you a word started with 0x70 in a hexadecimal, what would it start with in ASCII? So just basically the same type of question. It wants us to go from hex to ASCII. So we can just go ahead and copy this and go find a hex to ASCII convertible. Some of these things you could probably do on the command line, but I think it's usually quicker for me when I'm doing these types of things to just do it, find a website that does it. So in this case, we put our hex and we want to convert to ASCII. And it is not giving us, let's see, started with 0.70 and hex, and you want to go to ASCII. This is hex. That's only giving us a symbol. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if 70 is actually a P. No, I need to go check out somewhere else. It is. Okay, good. All right, and the next one we're going to do is called strings it. So this is another general skills one, but it is just a little slightly harder. So it says, can you find the flag on this file without running it? So we're going to open up our web shell here. and log in with your username and password. It's the same as you use to log into Pico Capture the Flag. All right, so we're going to, let me just make this bigger. Excuse me. All right, so you can copy the link address and say curl get that file. And this file is called strings. So did we get it? Oh, let's curl it and then put it into strings. So did anybody miss how I got that? How I did what I did just now? All right, so if we say ls, we should now see that there's a strings file. So we can say cat strings. That'll show us what's in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, so we can just cancel that and say clear. So then we can just say strings string, and I think the file is just string with one strings. And you'll see that there's a whole lot of information in here, which may or may not include our flag, but we know that the flag is in a Pico Capture the Flag header. So what we're going to do is say string strings, and we're going to say a pipe, which is right above your enter key. It's shift backslash, and we're going to say look for Pico. And when we do that, we see that there's only one line in that whole bunch of things that starts with the word Pico. And this is our flag. So any questions? All right, so that is it. So we can submit this and see what it says. It says hooray. All right, so then we can go to our next exercise. So our next exercise is going to be called bases 100. And I'm just going to put this web shell on another screen so I can just come back to it. So I'm looking for basis 100. It looks like there's only one basis. This might be base 64. Let's check it out in our web shell, see if we can find out. So, oh, I need to log in again. So all right, so you want to say echo paste, and then it's give me 1 second. And then we think it's base 64, and then we want to decode it. So we can do that. And then it says learn the ropes. So another way we could do it is if you're not familiar, if you're not comfortable with doing it in the command line, is you could also go and do a base 64 decoder online. You can type it in here and decode, and we get the same thing, which is learn the ropes. So we're going to just put this back into our gem and the flag. And submit. And it says we're good to go. All right, so any questions? All right, so the next one we're going to do is going to be called firstgrep. So this is also a general skills one. And it says, can you find the flag in the file? So the file is called file. So we're just going to right click it and say copy the link address, and we're going to pull it down into our webshop. So we're going to say curl, paste it, and then we're just going to put it into a file that's called file so that it does it like that. The other thing that you could do, if you remember from last week, is you could also say wget it, and then it would also just pull it down as opposed to doing the curl. But I want you to get used to using curl. So, so if we say ls now, we see that there's a file in here called file. So if we say cat file, we'll see there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to clear my screen. So in this case, it wants us to find something in this file. So because it's called firstgrep. So we're going to use grep to do our searching. So we'll say grep. We're going to echo the file. What this is going to do, or we could say cat the file, either one will work. And when we do that, we're going to put a pipe, and we're going to say within the file that's called file, we want to grep specifically for the word Pico, because we know that our flags start with Pico for this particular capture flag. So when we do that, we find that grep is a good way to find things. So we can copy this. So any questions about that? No? All right. So next up, we have what's a Netcat. So this is also a general skills task. And this one is meant to introduce you to a Netcat. Okay, so it says using Netcat is going to be pretty important. Can you connect to this on port whatever and get the flag? Okay, so in our terminal, we're going to connect here. So you can just copy this. And you need specifically the port number, which is 25103. So you can just copy this and remember 25103. And we're going to say Netcat is just NC on your command line terminal. And we're going to put the address, which is jupiter.challenges.pico.ctf.org. And we need to tell it what port to look on. So this is the general way that you're going to use Netcat. You're just going to say Netcat, the IP address, and then the port that you want to try to connect to. So in this case, we're trying to connect to 25103. And when we do that, it says you're on your way to becoming a Netcat master, and then it gives us our flag. So we can copy that and put it in here and submit it. All right, so next up, let's take a look in the cryptography section. We're going to take a look at, so you can get an example of some of those. All of the ones we've done so far have been basically general skills. So we're going to take a look at some of the cryptography ones. So we're going to take a look at one called the numbers. Oh, and I think we actually did this one. The numbers, what do they mean? Let's see, is this a picture? All right, so can you guys see that? Yes, no, maybe so. Can you see the numbers that I just put on the screen?
I just see the Pico CTF site.
Oh, you can see it from the website? Okay,
No, I'm looking at your
all right.
screen and I just see your website.
Oh, okay, okay, so you don't see, so what we're gonna do is, there's some, if you click on this file right here, you'll see that there's some numbers in the file. So it's not, for whatever reason, it's not showing it on my screen, but if you click on it yourself, you'll see the numbers. And I'm going to just put those numbers into a number decoder. So number to letter decoder. And I'm just going to put those numbers from the file into the screen there. So it says 16, 9, 3, 15, 3, 2, 20. 26, this, and then it says 28, 5, 14, 21, 13, 2, 5, 18, 19, 13, 1, 19, 15, 14. All right, so that says Pico capture the flag, the numbers Mason. So we can copy this and put it in here, but we need to make sure that it matches up. So, and we always need to say Pico CTF, and then we need to have our brackets, and the numbers Mason should work. No? Pico CTF, the numbers Mason. 28, 5, 14, 21, 13, 2, 5, 18, 19, 13, 1, 19, 15.
I think it is spelling for.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the spelling for Pico. That should be P-I.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That is an F. Did this work for any of you guys? Let me just put, oh, the 9, 16, 9. Let's see. Okay, so it accepted it in all cap uppercase. All right, so that's a cryptography type challenge. So we're going to go to another one. It's called 13. So it says cryptography can be easy. Do you know what row 13 is? So this tells us that this is a row 13 challenge. What row 13 is it's a rotation cipher. And it's just a substitution. So like, you know, it shifts the letters of the alphabet by a number. So the default for row 13 is to shift the letters 13 times, but you could shift them up to 26 times. So if we put this in here, looks like we're missing the first letter. It was a C. We get Pico capture the flag, not too bad of a problem. So like if you rotated the letters 13 times, that's what you get. If you rotated the letters 1 time, I have seen times where you have a Pico capture the flag or like a capture the flag challenge where they rotated and then rotated again. So if you see what looks to be like something that's in the correct form, but the letters are wrong and it doesn't make any sense, it's probably a rotation cipher. So we're going to put that in there. And that is correct. All right, the next one we're going to be checking out is called Lucifra Day. So CIF, it is one of the harder level cryptography problems. And it says, I found this cipher in an old book. Can you figure out what it says? Connect with Netcat. So we just learned how to use Netcat. So we're going to do that same thing. So we're going to copy this Netcat. And we're going to come in here and we can say Control C to get our terminal prompt back. And we can just paste the Netcat and see what happens. So it gives us something that appears to be text. But it is not, you know, written. So it's probably some type of sort. So let's see if they give us, I mean, there's some type of cipher. So let's see if they give us any hint. It says, I found the cipher in an old book. Can you figure out what it says? All right, so this looks like it's called a veneer cipher to me. So we're going to copy this. And I'm looking for VIGENERE cipher decoder. So if you weren't sure, like if you're like, hey, how would I possibly know that, right? What you could do is you could just copy and paste it into Google and see if Google has any thoughts, right? So it looks like Google has some thoughts because people have done these types of things before. So if you take a look at all of these, you might be able to find something that tells you how to find it. But you will, after you go down that rabbit hole, find out that it's basically a veneer cipher. So we're going to just come in here and we're going to put the ciphertext in this field here and decrypt it. Let's see. Let me go see if I can find another one. We want the other direction from decode. Here we go, ciphertext. Oh, we need a key. Hence, there are tools that make this easy. Perhaps looking at history will help. La Cifra, CIFRA, maybe that is. See.
Hey, did you get a sentence, Tanisha, or anybody? Because I have a bunch of words, but then it looks like I have a sentence of some sort. Can I share my screen and show
Yeah,
you?
absolutely.
Oh,
Hold on. Go ahead.
okay. Because I'm wondering if I'm in the right place or if there's an easier way to copy this. This looks like words. That's a lot. So am I in the right direction?
Oh, I can't see your screen. It doesn't look like you're sharing yet.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hit share. Okay. Now, yeah. So they're on this column here. Are
Yes,
those the
yes,
words?
yes. Um, after slate large, stay very long. This might be, let me take a look. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna stop you. Can you stop sharing for me for a
Yeah,
second?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Stop.
All right, so this is the one that I just found. So I pasted it in here, and then when you click break cipher, it says it is interesting how in history. So this matches up with what you see in there. Then that's what this is. This is a section at the bottom of a book. It says it is interesting how in history people often receive credit for things they did not create. So if you scroll down a little bit in that message, once it's decoded, you'll see that there's a flag. So is that what's showing up on the left-hand column of your screen?
No, I don't look like it. The different
Okay.
words. Yeah. What?
All right.
Oh,
So let me put this into the chat so you guys
okay.
can. Oh. And I need to actually get the flag from the message. And you just want the part that says Pico capture the flag. All right, so any questions about that? No? All right, next up, we're going to do one that's called tapping. So TAPPING, and tapping is another cryptography challenge. It's one of the higher level ones. So it says there's tapping coming from the wires. What is it saying? So we're going to copy this Netcat information here, and we're going to Control C back here. You can type clear to get rid of the other stuff and just right click and paste your new Netcat listener. And you'll see that it gives us back some tapping. So I can tell you from looking at enough of these that this is Morse code. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click and copy this, and we're going to go Morse code. So you could do it two ways. If you weren't sure what it is, you could just paste it like that, and then it'll be like, you know, hey, there's a Morse code translator. So that would give you an idea. And then you would just have to go to a decoder, and any decoder should do, preferably one that works. All right, so it says enter our Morse code and then translate, and we get this back, which hopefully should work. That is incorrect. Let me go check and see another place. Oh, it doesn't like our parentheses, but this is the message that it comes back with. And that worked. So any questions about that? All right, the next one we're going to do is called waves over lambda. It is one of the harder, again, cryptography type problems. So we're going to copy that. I'm going to go back to our web shell, and you can Control C to get out of there and clear it if you want, and then paste it and see what it's talking about. So it gives us a whole lot of letters, but it looks like they're set up as words. So this is probably just a substitution cipher. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to go to and I'll do this one. And I'm just going to paste my message in here and then type decrypt. And it is my hope, let's see, decrypt automatically. And it tells us that somebody died, but I'm looking for a Pico message. All right, so maybe I didn't get the whole message. Let's see. Oh, there's something up here. Let's see if this helps. So it doesn't look like it did a good job of decoding that. Let's see. Let's see if there are any hints in here. Flag is not in the usual flag format. Okay, that's semi-helpful. All right. Congrats, here's your flag. And then it says frequency is, you guys see this? Frequency is C over lambda, maybe? I wonder if this part is part of it too. We'll find out in a minute. Pico. CTF. All right, so maybe it's just C over lambda without that? No. Frequency is C over lambda. So let me just paste this in here and see if that works. No. Is this working for anybody?
Hasn't worked for me yet. I have the same flag, but it's not working.
PNV. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that that's the right answer, but it's just not working. Let's see, this is waves over lambda. Let's see if that's the same as the one I gave us. LW. That's not the one. That's not the one that's the same as ours. Frequency is C over lambda. But it looks like the letters are different at the end of this. Um, need to get to the beginning of the message. YU, DMV, it ends in YU now. Let's see if that, I think it's the one we have. It looks like it is. Yeah, it's not working. But that's how you solve this cipher. So I think this one is just broken because it's not giving us the right last part here. All right, let's take a look at another one. Let's do vault door. This is a reverse engineering challenge. Oh, actually, no, this is going to take us, we're going to need to probably do this in. Yeah, this vault door is going to take a little bit time more. We'll start on that one next time. All right. So, does anybody have any questions? Let's see if there's any other general skills that we can take a look at. All right, let's take a look at this one. It's called based. So it says, can you get the flag from this program to prove you're on your way to becoming elite? So we can copy this. I'm just going to clear this and paste. And it's still pasting the same thing. Copy, paste. It says, let us see how data is stored sludge. Please give the link as a word. You have 45 seconds. So I remember this one. So this one is a timed exercise that you guys can work on. I'll show you how to get started. So this first part here that we just copied is a binary. So binary decoder. So then you've got, put it in here and it says sludge, right? So SLUDGE. And then please give me this as a word. So you have to copy those numbers and say numbers to letters. And okay, so you kicked me out. Please give me the numbers as a word so we could put these into Google, figure out how they're doing this. Octal to text. All right, how about you? Do you want to work? All right, so octal, and then it says test, right? So you have to actually answer these questions. So like if we start this back up again, it'll say, please give me this as a word. So this is not the same as the word we had a minute ago, so we'll have to put this into the binary. And this is light, L-I-G-H-T. Then it says, give me this as a word. So this is again, octal. So we'll have to go over here to our octal. And this is computer. Then it says, please give me this as a word. Oh, and I just control C. Please give me this as a word. And this one is going to end up being like some base 64. You just paste it in here. So it wants to know ASCII. Maybe it's not ASCII. Let's see, ASCII to, oh wait. ASCII to numbers to, let's see. ASCII to text. It might, if it's not ASCII, it might be base 64. Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't have the equal sign. So yes, I'm not sure which one it is, but that's the purpose of this particular exercise is you have to answer all the questions that they give you in rapid order in order to get to the flag. All right, so any questions? No? All right, so we will do a different set of challenges in here. There are still a whole bunch of them that we could take a look at in other categories. So we'll start to take a look at some of the other categories, but we did most of the general skills and the cryptography today. So we'll take a look at some more of the cryptography and then maybe start looking at some of the reverse engineering ones next week. So if no questions, I will catch you guys in the Slack.
Keep that MF thing on